NTV Property Show begins right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. We continue with the series on women in real estate. Today we look at a specific regard into engineering, that of structural engineering. But before we get into that conversation, here is the Property of the Week segment.
Golden Oak Villas certainly speaks for itself. It offers modern tropical architecture and minimalistic interiors, providing no distraction from the surrounding landscape. Each of the 10 units stand on a 0.42-acre piece of land and is 90% complete for the construction of all units. The 5-bedroom all-in-suite units have 2 DSQs with separate toilet and bath. The front porch has a Mediterranean design with 4 pillars leading you to the palatial home. Two solid wooden doors welcome you to the home, with an accent frontal wall warmly welcoming you to the overall space. The wall is perfectly lit with a full moon sconce. The guest cloakroom is on the left from the main doors, and its wall and floor tiles match perfectly, bringing out a stylish antique feel. It is fitted with a wash basin and wide-length mirror, as well as a socket for any electric appliance. Wood laminate floors give you a warm underfoot feeling from the corridors leading to the spacious living room. Drawing one's attention without a doubt is the chandelier lighting hanging majestically at the center of the room. The fireplace is no exception, with its exquisite glossy finishing. Not many homes offer what can be used as a wine cellar cask or for storing beverages, but the case is different here. The design comes complete with MDF cabinets. The gypsum ceiling gives the room an airy feeling, and the downlighters complement the look. Large windows from the floor to the ceiling bring in an excellent amount of light, and here you may not necessarily need curtains. Another chandelier magnificently hangs in the dining room, with the gypsum ceiling also adorned in warm downlighters. Sliding windows are a great attribute in the dining. Right next to the dining is the kitchen, with its grey floor tiles, a distinct feature from the rest of the wood laminated floors. An island is at the center with a 4-cooker burner and a well-lit hood, complete with a vent. The granite countertops blend well with the laminated cabinets and pull-out drawers that have hydraulic hinges. Other electric appliances that are inbuilt include the oven and the dishwasher, which is next to the double wash sink. The full moon sconces in the kitchen have bright LED lighting, which is perfect for cooking. The well-lit corridor from the entrance leads to the guest room. It has sliding windows, floor-to-ceiling wardrobes, and ample sockets and TV ports. Bright wall and floor ceramic tiles in brown and beige characterize the washroom. The shower cubicle is at the corner with a sliding door and steel handles. Towel rails and rods are also fitted. A vanity wash basin has a wide-length mirror and storage space beneath. A water spray coil is next to the toilet, allowing you to easily clean your toilet. For relaxation purposes is the TV or lounge room. It has ample space for gaming and entertainment. Beneath the wooden staircase is a storage space big enough to keep bicycles or even game kits. Up the stairs, looking up, is yet another chandelier giving such an elegant look while lighting up the staircase. The family lounge is at the end of this first flight of stairs. A common balcony is at the corner, allowing you to display all your outdoor accessories, and is big enough to even put up a gazebo. 4 rooms are at different corners from the family lounge. The first room directly from the lounge is the smallest room in the home and can be used as a nursery or an office. Two rooms are similar to the guest room, offering ample space, sliding windows and floor-to-ceiling wardrobes. All the bathrooms have the signature brown and beige wall and floor tiles with shower cubicles, vanity wash basins and still fixtures. Exhibiting both style and functionality is the master bath. The jacuzzi is definitely eye-catching, and right next to it is the automated toilet that can even warm your seat and has specific options for male and female. Two vanity wash basins for him and her, still fixtures, and a shower cubicle with both fixed and snake shower heads are included. The master room has a wallpaper which is meant to be used as the headboard for the bed. Chandelier lighting is displayed and wall bracket with twin lights as well. On one side are the MDF boards and cabinets, giving a couple the option of using it as a TV center. Warm downlighters are dotted on the gypsum ceiling, giving it a perfect finish to the overall space. The balcony at the master rooms gives a great view of the development. Up the second flight of stairs is the attic room. Roof windows characterize this space, and although it may look or feel empty, there is so much one can do. This room can be used for absolutely anything. As an office, an extra room, or even a play area, the list is endless. Water at Golden Oak is supplied from the 350-meter deep borehole. Furthermore, each unit has an 1,800-liter tank. A backup generator is provided for common areas. Construction is underway for a clubhouse, gym, swimming pool and steam bath, all within the development and restricted for residents only. The pristine Golden Oak villas offer a prestigious residential setup, only 10 minutes walk from the main Langata Curran Road, with easy access to Galleria Mall, the Hub Curran, Nairobi Academy and Hillcrest. It also has close proximity to Curran Hospital. The 5-bedroom all-in suite is priced at 80 million shillings.
Sofa beds or seaters are pieces of furniture that have dual purpose. You can even use them both indoors and outdoors. Let's show you how on our Property Essentials segment.
There are no two ways about it. Buying a sofa can be a difficult task, especially if you're not quite sure what you want. From types of sofa and the materials they're made of to ensuring you'll be able to get the finished product into the house, there is a lot to consider when it comes to selecting one of your home's most integral pieces of furniture. Many small living room ideas revolve around tricking the eye into making the area appear more spacious. Such strategies can transform an area that feels cramped and claustrophobic into one that feels cozy and aesthetically pleasing. Decorate in a way that maximizes light and space, and pay attention to how you use color, scale, and weight. It can make quite a difference. It's interesting to try new things. Sometimes traditional ideas about living room decor aren't the best solution for a small space. Your living room, regardless of size, should be able to function as a space for relaxation and entertaining. Why not go sisal? An idea crafted by Deco Interiors, breaking out from the norm of wood furniture here in Kenya. This living room collection will be the perfect addition to your newly designed living area. All fabrics are pre-approved for wearability and durability, while the cushion cores are constructed of low-melt fiber wrapped over high-quality foam. But why choose sisal?
Sisal traditionally has been seen as a very coarse bale that's been exported from Kenya to the world for many, many years, through the 70s and 80s and 90s and now in the 21st century. It's involved in the manufacture of industrial materials like fiberglass. But when I saw sisal, I saw something that could be beautiful, that could be transformed into a finished product that offers soft feel, comfort, aesthetic, function. So that's when we started adopting sisal as our main medium. It is something that can be very beautiful and revolutionary, and you just need to bring it in to see the added dimension. The fiber is alive. It takes on light, both natural and artificial, in a way that's incredible.
Everything here is made of sisal, from the sofas to the side tables. A closer look at these contemporary sofas are the wide padded and rounded track-style setback arms and loose seat cushions, which are thick and supportive. It's covered in a medium brown sisal fabric that looks great, feels great, and will keep its good look for years and years.
We're saying sisal is the new wood. It lasts just as long. It probably requires less maintenance, and it's eco-conscious. So you're getting such a variety of advantages other than it looking so beautiful. And the look and feel of it, I mean, it's in children's bedrooms, you know, children love it. It feels, because we prune a younger sisal plant, it feels really soft.
Color inspiration can be found just about anywhere, and with sisal too, you cannot go wrong. This fiber offers different shades and tones of color as preferred by a customer or with the different designs currently offered. All the sofas here are manufactured locally to enhance the Kenyan culture and to get people out of the norm that you must import to have both style and durability.
What we discovered from the reactions of our clients is that they would walk in and they would look around and they would think, where do you import this from? So we actually had to put out signs, made in Kenya. Our product is proudly made in Kenya. Because it's finished so well, the standard of finishing is so high that people equate that to it must be from abroad. We're saying, nope, it's here and it's done locally.
Sisal woven furniture is said to be sustainable and 100% biodegradable. It is also anti-static, which means its natural fibers help control humidity. Another great advantage of Sisal is that it doesn't usually incorporate any artificial colors or chemicals, meaning that there is less worry when it comes to fading in the sunlight. Actually, the subtle color changes make Sisal more unique in terms of how it looks and feels. As Sisal is an excellent material for homeware, it equally requires little or no maintenance.
Sisal is a natural fiber, so it can't be exposed under the direct element like rain and sunshine. As long as you have a sheltered terrace or an outdoor, it sits perfectly under that. It's extremely durable. We offer it as a lifelong investment. It requires minimal maintenance. So once you buy it, really, it's a keeper for life.
Sisal is also an excellent choice of material with which to cover a scratching post when you have a pet such as a cat that often finds scratching away in your living room. Sisal furniture is strong and rough, and because it is quite durable, it can last on your scratching post for years before needing to be replaced, depending on how many cats are enjoying it.
In not too long, we get to delve into our discussion for today, but just before that, here's a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We're here to tell you that we have with us a structural engineer who is a lady, none other than Engineer Grace Kagondo. It's great to have you with us. This is a field that many say it's a man's field. You've been able to get into it. How did you do that?
Most people think it's a man's forte, but I found that with the right preparation from school, it is possible. Yeah, I started with a good performance in the science subjects. We did well in the maths and physics and chemistry. And because engineering requires a high pass mark for university, so we had to do well in those science subjects. And our career mistress also at school, she encouraged us girls to go into the sciences and take up those science careers. So a few of us took the challenge, and we went into civil engineering at the University of Nairobi. So I graduated with civil engineering, and thereafter I was lucky to get exposed in consultancy firms that had a lot of building projects. And there is where I got a lot of actual exposure. Yes. Design calculations, I spent a lot of time in the design office. I spent a lot of time on the site, because you have to go to the site to make sure that what you're designing and what you can see is what is coming up. Yeah. And then I had to work with very skilled, let's say my seniors were very skilled. I was lucky to work with very, I can say very highly trained structural engineers themselves. Great. So in the process you learn a lot.
Is it something you've always wanted to do? Have you always wanted to be a structural engineer?
Honestly, I flowed into it. Yeah, because when I left university, my first employer had a lot of building projects. So I got assigned into a lot of those projects. When I went to my second employer, the international consultancy firm, again he had a lot of building projects, and I was assigned to them. In fact, I ended up being posted to one of the biggest sites in Nairobi then. That was the Times Tower project. And from there on, you know, you spend a lot of time, you hone your skills, and it's very difficult now to diversify to any other field.
You had mentioned about the academic demands, which are definitely a lot of pressure. How are you able to manage that?
While at the university, we found that the schedule was very tight. We had to attend classes, we had to take part in field work, we had to do lab tests, we had to do assignments, there were cuts. So we were very busy almost all the time. We could hardly take part in the comrade Kamukonjis, we could hardly take part in the strikes or the mass actions. We always missed out because of trying to keep up with our studies. And of course we knew that it would not be the end. After that we would still have to wanted to pass well because you wanted to get either a first class or an upper second. In my case, I got an upper second, which was good enough. And then thereafter, I wanted to make sure that I got registered as a professional engineer, because that is really the hallmark of a fully qualified engineer. Yes. And I was very thrilled when I eventually got it.
So on a normal day, how does your schedule look like as a structural engineer?
To be honest, it has been changing quite a lot over the years. In those early years, I spent most of the time in the design office, which meant that I was always with a calculator, with a square root pad for the calculations, on the computer, and in the drawing office, because the drawings were done on a drawing board. But as time went on, I spent more time on the site. So on a typical day, I would be studying the drawings ahead of the actual construction work, and liaising with architects and quantity surveyors or services engineers, just to make sure that everything is well coordinated, so that when the contractor starts pouring the concrete, everything is properly placed and the levels are right, and all the provisions have been properly taken care of.
Okay. Okay. You've mentioned that you work with a team. You've talked about quantity surveyors, architects. So how does that go about?
I can tell you that we work as a team. There's no one person or one aspect that you can do without, because the architect is the one who takes the client's idea from the mind and puts it on a drawing. Yes. And everybody is able to see this is the tangible product, this is the final output that is desired. So the structural engineer comes on board to make sure that he designs a structure that is sound, that is stable, and that is also durable and comfortable to use. And so you do a lot of structural analysis to come up with the right components, the right column sizes, beams, foundations, roof, and overall dimensions. The quantity surveyor must be there because he's the one to cost this project. Yes. He's the one to keep track of the cost and make sure the funds don't run out midway. That would be very awkward. And the services engineers are also on board because they have to make sure there's electricity in that building, there's water running, flowing well. They have to make sure there's air conditioning and the lifts are running well. So you can see clearly, everybody must do their bit.
Because structural engineering offers a great contribution. Residential developments, buildings, bridges, so much. It entails so much. How have you been able to manage?
For me, it meant opting for a simpler life. Yeah, there are many things I don't participate in or engage with, because I realized I need to put time aside for keeping up with the technological changes. There have been so many innovations in our sector. There have been changes in societal expectations. You have to keep up with those expectations. And also in the way that you do things. There's more innovation coming up.
And you have to keep up with
And you have to keep up with it. In fact, I have had to go back to school to study the law, just to be able to understand some of the impediments and challenges we come across on a day-to-day life.
Would you recommend this field of engineering, specifically structural engineering, to a young female engineer who has not yet known what field they would want to go into?
What the career entails, I probably would have thought twice about it. But having gone through the road, I would encourage a lady engineer to do the civil engineering, because that is where you now are able to specialize in so many areas. For example, structural engineering. Because you hardly do structural at the university, you do it as a subunit within civil engineering. Yes. So you need to do civil engineering, then you can have so many options in which you can take your career. Yeah, so I would definitely encourage them to do so, and I'm always available myself. Yes. I've made time to support and encourage young ladies doing engineering.
Tell us about the stereotypes that you had to deal with as a woman in this field. You've mentioned about how sometimes you'd come in and people would think you're coming to help, but hey, you're the engineer.
I probably would have thought twice about it. But having gone through the road, I would encourage a lady engineer to do the civil engineering, because that is where you now are able to specialize in so many areas. For example, structural engineering. Because you hardly do structural at the university, you'll do it as a subunit within civil engineering. Yes. So you need to do civil engineering, then you can have so many options in which you can take your career. Yeah, so I would definitely encourage them to do so, and I'm always available myself. Yes. I've made time to support and encourage young ladies doing engineering.
Is there one thing you found very challenging in the years you've been in structural engineering? Tell us about that.
What I found is that somewhere along the way, there was inadequate capacity, for example, in the support, the team that we need to support us, for example, at the technical level, at the artisan level. We find that they were not properly skilled. Many of them did not have the proper training. So whereas you have the design, you have got the drawings, you have got everything right, it cannot be easily translated by the team, the contractor's team, because this team is composed of people who are not properly trained.
Yes.
So you find that you are engaging with a lot more supervision than you should have, than you should. And in some sites where you have an inspector of work, that was pretty good. But if you didn't have an inspector of work, that would turn out to be a very big challenge. There you find that, for example, you have got National Construction Authority, NCA, Housing Finance, and other corporates trying to train people at that level, the artisans. You know, this is where we get the electricians, the plumbers, the carpenters. You see, nowadays we are finding they're getting trained. So in the market, you'll be able to find people who can actually do the work. And I see even the government has taken a lot of interest in that particular area.
Field,
yeah, in that particular field, you'll find the NITAs taking up that challenge, the Tibet Authority. You know, there's a lot of interest in supporting that particular niche. So I do think that things are improving and things will change.
All right. Tell us about your achievements so far. What have you achieved as a structural engineer?
I have, I'll tell you my high moments.
Yes.
My high moments were when I got registered as an engineer. I became a professionally qualified engineer. That was back in 2002. So I was able now to use the title engineer. I really felt good about that.
Grace.
Yeah. And also I got my master's, an MBA in project management and finance, also in 2002. I was very happy about that as well. In terms of the projects I've been involved with, for me it has to be the Times Tower. For quite a long time, it was the tallest building in East and Central Africa. And I was so happy to have been part of that team from the design work to the time it was being put up to the very end. So it was a feather in my cap. I really enjoyed that. And of course I grew tremendously. Thereafter, I would say my family. I'm very proud of my family, my 3 boys, including Mr. Kagondo.
It's part of it.
It's part of it, part of the 3.
And we're proud of you. Congratulations for this far you've come. Tell us about some of the professional bodies that you are in. Definitely we know about AAK. You could probably just mention a little bit about that and how it has helped you expand in your profession.
I'm a member in Architectural Association of Kenya, the Engineers Chapter, because the AAK has 7 chapters for the different disciplines for the built and natural environment. So naturally I fit in the Engineers Chapter. I'm also a registered engineer, which means the EBK, Engineers Board of Kenya, and also a member of the Institute of Engineers of Kenya, the IEK. Now, in the AAK, it's a very good opportunity for us to network and grow as professionals, because we are able to lobby for areas that, for matters that affect us, the practice, the professionals. And we are able to support each other in continuous professional development, for example, because that is a core calling for each of us, because otherwise we'll not be able to serve our clients properly. So that is one thing we know. And through our networks, we are able to meet other stakeholders, like NEMA, for example. We meet the Nairobi County government, the authorities. We need to work with all these people so that they can know our expectations and they can also know our expectations. And we are able to have those dialogues, those kind of dialogues. Also dialogue with Kenya Property Development Association. Yeah, so those dialogues are very, very important in growing all of us in our particular areas of interest.
The day-to-day life of a structural engineer, making it even more better that it is a lady we've been talking to. Yes, structural engineering has a lot. You need to commit, you need to be dedicated, have a lot of effort. But if you're in the field of civil engineering, you could consider going the structural way. That's where we put a cap on today's show. Remember, next week we continue with more informative topics right here on NTV Property Show. See you next Sunday.